Hey YouTube, welcome back to WJ's World. In today's video, I want to follow up on some of the repairs that I was making on the truck. I actually found some things out when it comes to why my check engine light is on and why it hasn't went off by itself. You do have to manually shut it off, but there's also another issue which I found out and what the problem was to begin with, basically. Your DPF is a filter and it can get clogged over time. Even with regens, it still can get clogged. So right now my truck, I believe it is clogged because after replacing that part, I'm still getting a high pressure on the inlet side, which is the side coming from the engine, versus the outlet side from what the code is telling me. So basically what I'm planning to do today, and this is one of those repairs that if you're skilled enough, you can do. It's not that hard. Just heavy parts basically, but you can basically get a chemical to clean the DPF. There's two ways to do it. You can actually clean it while it's on the truck and do a force regen, or you can do it, you can actually take the DPF off and clean it that way. I plan to take it off because the code reader that I have actually doesn't do a force regen. The other one that I did purchase and sent back, it did do a force regen, but not this one. There's this chemical that you can use. Show you what it looks like. This chemical right here is for DPF cleaning. So you basically can take it off, take the DPF off. You actually don't even have to take the DPF off, but when you do it on the truck, you're supposed to use compressed air to make sure this gets everywhere it's supposed to go. So I'm going to take my DPF off so I don't have to worry about the compressed air part. I am still thinking about going to go get a compressor. I just seen one at Harbor Freight that was pretty cheap. But basically you take this chemical and pour it into your DPF and make sure it gets pretty much everywhere on the DPF, on the filter itself, and it's ceramic guts inside the DPF. So you get this everywhere and you basically wash it out. I've seen some people using pressure washers. I don't plan on using a pressure washer, but I do plan on using this chemical, and if I have to, I'll go get another bottle. This bottle is actually $28, so it's pretty expensive stuff. So if I have to, I'll go get another bottle. But if it can solve the problem, then, you know, all to the good, it doesn't matter. So I'm gonna go ahead and start taking the DPF off. And it's not that hard. It has two clamps that connected to the main exhaust piece. You gotta take off all the sensors and a couple of plastic hoses, not plastic, rubber hoses that do suction lines and stuff like that. It's really not that hard to do. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so as we've seen before, here's the top part of the DPF itself. These particular hoses can actually stay on. This one way back here, I'm gonna take off because it goes to the other side of the clamp. Basically, you have one clamp here, and there's one clamp on this other side over here, and that will remove the DPF. This is the only electrical cord that's actually attached to the truck. And the rest of it is actually just that wiring harness that's right there. And you basically have this, these are the two clamps that you can see from underneath. They're sitting right here. And then this whole piece, this center piece, drops down and comes out. And that's where this is where the filter is. And just for the sake of putting these straps back the way they were, I went ahead and just drew a line so I can put them back roughly the way they were. It doesn't really matter, but I just want to put things back the way it was when I originally took it off. All right, I wanted to record this part, but it literally happened so fast and it just plopped out. One thing, if you're gonna tackle this, there's a gasket around here that goes to both sides of this so that you're not getting an air leak. But basically this is the filter right here. You see how dirty it is? So it's probably like that through the whole filter, and that's why I got the chemical to go ahead and try and clean up as much of this as possible. And I'm thinking about taking this one off too and looking at the other side of it, because it's probably both of these are the same, so I need to look at this other side too to facilitate a cleaning on that one as well, which probably means I'll end up getting another bottle of that chemical if this first one doesn't stretch, and cleaning both of these at the same time. But yeah, this is what your diesel particulate filter looks like. Okay, completely my fault. When I get to working, I forget to record. And yeah, so I started working and pretty much did everything and got it clean and didn't record any of it. it's not that big of a deal. It's just a cleaning process. So let me show you what I did. First, I went and got me a little cheap compressor so I can blow it out. I'm still in the blowing out process right now. That's the chemical, and I put it into that bottle. That chemical goes really fast. That's my only problem with that, but I'll show you the results. So that's pretty much what it's looking like on both sides. I'm still in the process of getting all the water out, but basically both sides look nice and clean. So that chemical dissolves soot, and that's pretty much what it did for me. So now all I have to do is I'm gonna let them dry overnight. Like I said, I'm gonna put some heat to it, and then tomorrow I'll put everything back together, but I gotta go get the gaskets first, and hopefully I can find them all. From what I see, AutoZone has this set, and then I gotta get this set for just the regular exhaust. This is just a regular exhaust clamp, and you just need the gasket that goes in between. So hopefully that's a standard piece, but the other ones, from what I'm seeing, it's about $52 for the two gaskets that go on this end. They come in two, so it basically, this one goes on this side, and this one basically sits on this lip, and you put them back together. So like I said, everything's looking really clean. It's looking really good. So hopefully this fixes my high pressure on one side problem. That's why I cleaned both of them. And once I put everything back together, we'll see exactly how everything meshes. So for those of you out there doing your own work or not doing your own work, this is the HD OBD2 / 9-pin scanner that I got from Amazon. This one was able to connect. For some reason, the last one did not. So I was able to get into my system and see exactly what the check engine light and D-rate problem was. So that's why what brought me to the conclusion of changing the DPF, or not changing, but cleaning my DPF. That's what brought me to this conclusion, because of this tool right here. So I was able to see the codes and look them up to see, not on this device, but once I seen the codes, I knew exactly what to look up, and then find out exactly what I needed to do to alleviate the problem. So if you got a 9-pin connector, it comes with that one. This piece actually comes out, so it's actually regular OBD2, so you can use this on your regular vehicle. This is the 9-pin for a lot of newer tractor trailers or box trucks, but it also has a 6-pin for the older style. So if you want this, I'll put a link in the description. I got an affiliate link for this. If anybody's looking to just pick this up, even if you aren't doing your own work and you want to just keep your mechanic honest, this is a good tool to have. All right, it's literally the next day. I've cleaned the DPFs, both filters, both sides of the filter, I should say, and I've had a little trouble finding the gaskets that go in between, because, you know, it's a commercial truck, so AutoZone, Advance, and O'Reilly's, they don't have parts readily available for the truck, like as if it was a smaller truck like the one I'm driving, the F350. So I was actually able to find the DPF gaskets, which there's 2 of them. I found that at AutoZone. I'm about to go order them now. I tried to go to O'Reilly's and Advance to see if they had them a little cheaper. O'Reilly's does have it a little cheaper, but they want you to pay for shipping, which makes it more expensive, so that's out of the question. They also have the downpipe gasket, which is another gasket that I need. So it's a total of 3 gaskets, 2 on both sides of the DPF and 1 on the front. That's the actual downpipe from the turbo to the actual DPF itself. It's a smaller gasket. It's only a 4-inch exhaust gasket. So I found those. I found that one on Amazon. The guy at O'Reilly's helped me find that one, and he actually had to go through a Dodge F5500 to get the correct one for that. So he gave me the part number. I found it on Amazon for 10 bucks. I ordered that one. The only problem is it's Sunday right now, and I won't be able to get the main gasket until Tuesday. Luckily, I didn't have anything planned. I was supposed to start with the new dispatcher company that I signed up for. I was supposed to start with them tomorrow, But I'm gonna shoot him an email today and let him know that my truck is down, DPF and all that good stuff. He'll understand, no big deal. But as long as I get the truck, everything put back together by Thursday, I should be good. But Tuesday, I should have everything put back together. So it should be no big deal. Okay, so we got a little bit of a dilemma. Went to AutoZone, come to find out that gasket was the wrong gasket. It was way too thin. It wasn't gonna work. The gasket is 3 millimeters thick. So it's supposed to compress when you put the clamp on. Then the gasket that I ordered from Amazon is also the wrong gasket. So when it comes to the gasket, it needs to be thick, because as it sits around this lip, it actually has to compress with the ring to give an airtight seal. So the gasket that I got from Amazon, it doesn't have that seal on it, so it won't compress. Same thing goes for the DPF gasket. I got to clean this up a little bit more. It's kind of terrible. But same thing goes for this part too. It has to be on there and it has to compress a little bit. I'm cutting it kind of close. Today's Tuesday, and tomorrow night I have an Amazon run. So I got to figure out what I'm going to do to get these gaskets. I ordered some from Amazon, but they're going to be here Thursday. So I'm going to try a Hail Mary play tomorrow. I'm going to go down to the truck area where they got all the commercial trucks and see if somebody actually has this gasket in stock in the truck centers. The only reason why I didn't go there first, because I knew it would be more money. But Amazon, AutoZone had it for $55 for 2 gaskets. There's nothing special about them. They're just expensive. So I'm gonna go over there tomorrow, first thing in the morning, and see if they got gaskets for me to put this thing back together. If not, then what I'm gonna have to do, just so I can make this run, is find some gasket maker and make my own gasket real quick, wait for those parts to come in, and then take it back off and put the correct gaskets on. So I'm just gonna have to try a Hail Mary for tomorrow, and hopefully I can get everything put. It doesn't take long to put back together in no shape, form, or fashion. I just have to have the proper gasket so you don't have an air leak. Okay, I just made it over here to the Cummins dealership. Not dealership, but it's a parts center, service center for Cummins engines. I forgot completely that there was one of these in Richmond. I'm probably about 3 or 4 miles away from the Ford dealership, which deals with the Cummins engines in the F750, and they get a lot of their parts from right here down the street. So I'm gonna go in here and see if hopefully they have the parts here, being that this is actually Cummins itself. Hopefully they have the parts here, so I'll be right back. Okay, good news. After going in there, they literally had all the downpipe gasket and the DPF gaskets. They literally had them here the whole time. So I could have been up and running Monday. I forgot all about this place was here, and they actually have a financing option to overhaul a Cummins engine too. So if I get a truck, or my particular truck, I can actually finance to have them overhaul the whole engine. And of course that's just a payment, but it will be worth it if something happens to my engine. But yeah, this place is pretty cool. They pretty much got all the parts that I would need for my truck here. I don't know if they'd have them in stock here, but simple parts like gaskets and things, I'm sure they change these a lot, so they would have a lot in stock. And the downpipe gasket, that's something that's quite common, kind of like AutoZone. So let's go home and put this thing back together. I actually have 2 more gaskets coming from Amazon of this one, but I'll just send those back along with some other stuff I got to send back to Amazon. But yeah, I'm happy. So I got a job tonight, so I got to hurry up and get this done so I can drive out tonight. Okay, I got one piece up. I had to put this piece up first because of the way it sits up. That piece actually has a piece that it goes into. As you can see, that little silver lining in there, that's the new gasket. I just found out this clamp actually has a crack in it on the bottom side, but it should still be all right. If it isn't, I'll replace it. So actually this gasket actually could have been the problem why I'm having a pressure differential between the inlet side and the exhaust side. So what I'm hopefully, being that I have new gaskets on all 3 of these parts now, if I did have an air leak, it would be alleviated because it has new gaskets on it now. The only real way this can crack is if heat was getting out, because this is the DPF, so when you go through a regen, the temperatures get really high. 900, 1,000 degrees. So there's a little bit of rust right here, which means water could have penetrated the gasket. Crack is right here on this part of the gasket. So heat could have been shooting down when we're going through the regen and blew out the gasket down here. So all I have to do now is tuck this last piece up, put the new gaskets on, and I'm pretty much done for this part. And if the other sensor that's actually on the DPF is bad, then I'll probably end up replacing that. But as you can see, the DPF itself actually looks really clean. So there's no soot in it, so it shouldn't have a problem as far as getting, as far as breathing the way it should. So I'll go ahead and finish this real quick, and I guess I'll take it for a ride after that. Okay, everything is back up and put together the way it's supposed to be. I have turned the check engine light off for now, so luckily I was able to get this stuff today because I actually have a job for Amazon tonight, and I got my A+ back. My dispute went through, and you know, I was literally 3 minutes late, and they dinged me pretty hard for that. So that dispute went through and everything's cool to go for Amazon. So I actually got a run tonight, and I'll do my testing on the road tonight to make sure everything is running good. If the check engine light or the D rate comes back on, I might have to replace this DPF. I don't want to replace the DPF. The DPF is technically clean now, so it might actually be the other sensor that's on top. Now that I can go to the Cummins dealership, I should be able to get that sensor. Who knows how much it's going to cost, but I should be able to get that sensor, the other sensor that's on there, to fix the problem, because the problem is right here at the DPF of why the truck is going into D rate. So if you are in need of a OBD2 scanner for these types of trucks, 9-pin and 6-pin, I will put a link in the description to the scanner that I got that actually worked with my truck. I don't know what was going on with the last one, but for some reason it wouldn't communicate with my truck. This particular one did. That's how I'm able to cut the codes off. Even if you don't do this type of work, you just want to keep your mechanic honest, you can always check your engine, check the codes before you take it to the mechanic to make sure he's going to tell you the proper thing. Though it's actually, I think it was 116 bucks for it, so not expensive at all for what it does. And you can use it on regular cars too, because it has the regular OBD2 port as well. So I'll put a link in the description if anybody wants to get a pretty cheap OBD2 scanner with the 9-pin connector on it. But as far as today, I'll just go out on the road tonight and see how the truck is driving. It's been driving okay. It's the D rate is really just when I get into the hilly territory. So that marks an end for this video, and I'll report my findings in the next video. Peace.